I thought my boyfriend was perfect until a doctor proved he was cheating on me.
You know, we can't all be perfect.
I met my ex-boyfriend in February of this past year, and we hit it off immediately. He got me flowers on our first date. We went to a big concert together. He cooked me dinner, and we even had our first kiss on a private beach, like a diddly-dang rom-com. The only issue was that I had plans to move out of state in the middle of the summer, and I didn't really want to jump into a relationship. By the way, this comes from user...
Oh my gosh. I love that
And if
user.
you want to submit your own stories... That's not really the username. Comes from user Scared Letterhead 8094. And if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you sneeze on over to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we don't know everything.
Yet.
We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something else, let us know in the comments. And OP says, knowing this, my ex came over one night at midnight with a box of chocolates to ask me to be his girlfriend. My initial thought was no. He knew I was moving, and even though I liked him, I told him that I didn't want to move so far and do long distance. When I said that, he started crying, and I really did like him, so I said yes. 2 weeks later, he told me he loved me after we finished having spice to sleep.
Oh, that's a red flag. Usually it's a red flag. Sorry.
Yeah, apparently he had said it a week prior when we were at a rooftop showing of La La Land in the city, but I just didn't hear it.
Oh boy, this guy's a romantic.
He's the love bomber. Watch out. It's the love bomber. I had never been in a relationship before, so all of this was so exciting. I truly grew to love him a lot and became excited about a potential future with him. He would always talk about me as if I was his dream girl and eventually planned a surprise bonfire date on a beach to ask me if I wanted to do long distance with him. I said yes. I will be your long distance girl. I was very happy. As I began meeting his friends, he started talking about one of his coworkers, 21 female, a lot. Apparently, this girl was bipolar and had BPD and hadn't been taking her meds, so her roommate was evicting her and was venting about it to my ex. I tried to justify it because he also had BPD and could have good insight, and we had expressed how we were okay with the other having friends of the opposite agenda. She would call him while she knew we were hanging out, was checking his location, and he even went over to her house to bring her breakfast.
What?
It was all starting to make me very uncomfortable. Yeah, it's because he's going to be like, my bipolar, my borderline personality disorder queen, I love you.
Babe, we share BPD. Then I had made her BPD. Bacon, pancakes, and Danish.
We both had BPD, so I gave her my BPD.
Bacon, pancake, Danish.
At one point, I even got roped into driving her home from therapy. What? I nervously expressed this to him, and he agreed he needs to set boundaries with her. I stopped hearing about her entirely. I would still see her name pop up on his phone, but he never talked about her. At one point, I asked how she was, since I hadn't heard anything in a while, and he got very defensive, saying, why are you asking? Why are you asking?
We're living in La La Land right now, and it's not going to be called Seb's. It's chicken on a stick.
Flash forward to June. I thought I had a UTI, so I went to the doctor to get checked out. When I got my results back, they told me I contracted a spicily-related disease that could only come from someone who hadn't been honest. My heart sank into the floor. The only person I had ever had spice to sleep with was my ex, and we had been dating for months, so where the heck would I have gotten it? I called him and asked when the last time he had spice to sleep with someone who wasn't me was, and he said January. I hung up and went to work and spent my whole shift crying. I asked him to come over that night, and I sobbed in his car, saying things like, I love you and I want so badly to believe you, but it just doesn't add up. He kept swearing that he never did anything shady, and I didn't want to lose him, so I chose to believe him. A couple of weeks later, we went on a road trip up north to meet some of my high school friends and move my things up to my parents' house before my new lease started. On the last day of this trip, also the last day before long distance, we were sitting in the bath together in a hotel, and I burst into tears. I told him how I didn't want to be so far from him and how much I loved him and how scared I was for the future. It was worse the next day at the bus stop, and we said goodbye. We both cried, and he gave me his blanket to hang on to. He hugged me like it was the last time he'd ever see me. We kissed goodbye, and I drove to my parents' house in shambles.
He gave you his blankie.
This guy's crying from maybe attack of guilt, a guilt attack, and you're crying because you'll actually like him. And he's like, man, ooh, maybe I do feel a little bad that I'm going to immediately and already have cheated on this girl.
This guy's not the main character. This guy's not the hero. He's a villain.
He's the villain. Now, 2 days after this, he drove to Las Vegas for his coworker's 21st birthday.
Usually what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, unless if it's spicy transmitted disease.
Except the little spicy germs crawling all over your BPD.
Yikes.
I was told that all of these friends of hers were going and that it was the first big group thing. I didn't go because I was still 20 and couldn't do any of the things they were going to do. I felt very uneasy about this but chose to trust my ex. He barely spoke to me the whole time. I tried to call him while he was getting ready to go out or just get updates on what he was doing, especially since we had just had an emotional few days, but he was either busy or didn't want to talk on the phone. I expressed this was hurtful, and he apologized. After he got home, my sister sent me a screenshot of his coworker's Instagram post from her birthday trip. I didn't follow her, but there were photos of them cuddled up at a restaurant and a collage of pictures of just them together on her story. No sign of anyone else.
Ooh, row.
Well, OP, at least you got to learn what a lying, manipulating love bomber is.
He's going to be like, Vegas just does that to people, babe. What happens to Vegas goes on the gram.
I called him and asked what the heck was going on. And he argued with me for the first time ever, saying the photos looked platonic and that he thinks I was just upset because of a gender bias since he's pan. I felt like I was talking to a wall. I told him that if it were one of his other friends, I wouldn't be as upset, but he knew that the girl made me feel uncomfortable and he went into this anyway. The next week was filled with messages being delivered for hours, his location getting randomly turned off, and avoiding phone calls. The next Sunday, he broke up with me. I was so crushed. I knew that his BPD was acting up again and that he had started new meds that were messing with him. But I was so confused how the person who had shown me so much love could drop me like that. We talked again a week later, and he berated me, saying that I didn't care about him or his mental health, and that he couldn't be around someone like that. Mind you, I was checking in on him daily, asking his friends how he was doing, and researching his medication and its side effects. The day before, I actually puked because I was so worried. And you can just let this guy go.
No, it's very hard for OP, because this is OP's like first real relationship. They're doing long distance. It's so much harder than it is being
I know
said.
it's not easy, but I'm telling you right now that you can just let this guy go and continue to date and find other people.
Yeah.
Because he was not the end-all, be-all of your life. I promise.
He was know-all.
A month later, we randomly talked again, and he told me that someone like me doesn't deserve someone who did the things that he did, like cheat on you and give you an STD.
Oh, he's guilting himself.
That I don't deserve to be put through his behavior, that he misses me every day, admires my ambition, and that he hasn't thrown out any of our things. I was a mess, asking him things like, if you know my worth so well, why couldn't it have been you? He ended the conversation by telling me that he needed me to not be alone for the night, that he would text my sister if he had to. A couple of weeks later, him and his coworker's relationship became public, and they are still publicly dating to this day. I've been dating and hooking up with other people since then. Today is the 3-month anniversary of us breaking up, but whenever I have a day to myself, I can't help but sit in what happened. And by the way, you can sit and listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And you can listen to us tell people that they are better off without this guy.
Yeah, this guy sucks. Come on, OP. Put the pieces together.
He's the flip-flop. He's the flip-flopperoni. He's like, babe, how could you do this to me? I can't believe you never cared.
Aw, you don't deserve to be put through what I put you through. I still have all of your things, and I think you're incredible.
That's definitely the BPD with how he's handling things, but he's also manipulating you, or he did manipulate you. So I'm happy you didn't. Well, one, you were already long distance, so that made it probably a lot easier for you to just move on. But two, you come on, you got a good head on your shoulders. I feel like if you put 2 and 2 together, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's only been 3 months. Like you broke up 3 months ago. You're out there. You're doing stuff. You'll get through this.
Here's my advice. When he hits you up, because he probably will, sooner or later, he does it, don't give him the light of day. He don't deserve it. He don't deserve you. Just focus
Truly.
on yourself.
This is just a learning experience. It's your first real relationship. It's okay.
I'm not saying all first real relationships should be like this or are going to be like this. Sometimes they're the one, but this guy was never the one.
Yeah, right. That this person I loved so much was willing to hurt me so badly, it's not just a bad dream. Everyone who knows me knows I cared about him more than myself, which I know isn't healthy, bingo, but I don't know how I'm supposed to trust anyone ever again. If you've gone through something similar, how did you cope? And there are some comments. Wow! What you've been through is like a Netflix limited series. Being in a long-distance relationship myself with my significant other for like 4 years is tough, and I appreciate her more because of what we've been through. I dragged her into it, but she took the leap of faith with me, and we are now together, happy. Honestly, your ex is a piece of work and doesn't deserve you. He literally speed ran the whole dream guide to walking red flag transformation. My advice is to bury this post and bury his memory for your future significant other. Reminder, not everyone is like him. There are billions of people on this planet, and not everyone is him. So start from there. And that is the end of that story. And I do think you should probably just block this guy.
Yeah, don't block all socials. Don't worry about him. Again, you're away from him. Seems like you're doing all right. Move on with your life. He don't need you. You don't need him. You'll be all right. You're young. You'll sure, it's a learning situation and it sucks, but you'll know from here on out not to deal with someone like this, and keep an eye out for that. And don't get manipulated.
100%. And that is the end of that story.
My boyfriend cheated with our roommate. Now he can't afford rent.
Too bad, so sad.
I, 42 female, have been with my boyfriend, 33 male, for 4 years. And we've lived together for 2 years. Our lease is up in a week and a half, and I've made the decision to move out after I found out that he cheated on me with his best friend. By the way, this comes from Shonda82, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for context, his best friend, Tina, 34 female, and he were roommates before he and I got together, and before we all decided to move in together. He and I were just friends for 8 years prior to committing. During our friendship, anytime she would call and need him, he would drop whatever he was doing to make sure she was all right. I'll admit, Tina's not the brightest, and at 34 doesn't really know how to be an adult. She fixes everything with 2 or 3 different guys a week, which is made easy because of her profession. I'm not shaming her, just stating facts. Over the years, I had some doubts about their relationship, but he always reassured me that they were just friends and I trusted him. 2 months ago, I found out the truth. His behavior has been changing. He was distant, secretive, and I could just feel something was off. Yes, I went through his phone at around 3 a.m. and saw the exchanges. I confronted him, and after some hesitation, he admitted he slept with Tina.
Boo!
Stinky. He said it was a one-time mistake that he regretted, and begging for my forgiveness, claiming it didn't mean anything. The text said otherwise, especially since they were messages from the previous day. He really wanted me to stay and work things out, but I can't. I feel betrayed, stupid, and humiliated. I'm also angry because he didn't just cheat. He cheated with someone who lived in our home, shared meals with me, had heart-to-hearts with me, and acted like a friend. They would reassure me about my insecurities regarding their closeness. It's always the ones they tell you not to worry about. I've already decided I'm done. I've signed a lease for a new apartment, arranged movers, and plan to leave next week. I haven't told him yet, and I don't plan to until I'm gone. Since he goes to work before me, my plan is to pack and move all my things while he's at work. I'll leave a letter explaining my decision. This is where I may be the a-hole. I know he can't afford this place or a new one without me. He's financially struggling, and without me, he's going to have a hard time finding somewhere else to live. But I'm not responsible for fixing his situation, especially after the betrayal. Some friends think I'm justified in not telling him, saying that he made his choices and now he has to face the consequences. My sister, however, thinks I'm being cruel by not at least giving him a heads up so he can make arrangements. I don't feel like he deserves my sympathy. He can have my middle finger, though. Oh yeah, Tina doesn't live here anymore either. So am I the a-hole for moving out without telling my cheating boyfriend, knowing he can't afford this place or a new one on his own? And we have an update, but what do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I could maybe get behind, like, sure, you could give him a heads up, but, like,
Sure.
ultimately that wasn't going to change the fact that he can't afford it or a different place.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, I could understand their perspective of just being just like considerate or whatever, and just
But, like, did he really consider you?
yeah, it's like I don't think it's a too much of an a-hole move to like stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I usually don't go for the petty things, usually don't go for like revenge or whatever, but like, yeah, it's just kind of, you know, you don't do a heads up is a considerate thing to do, and you don't deserve that from me at all.
Right.
You don't deserve my consideration.
Yeah, I would agree. But we have an update. As planned, I moved out. It was incredibly hard, but I knew it was the right decision for me because jail is not something I want to do again. Okay. The leasing office contacted him, so he found out that I was moving. He then decided that he wanted to talk. I did sit down and talk to him because I wanted to see his reaction, specifically his shocked expression. I needed to see that he understood the gravity of what he had done. I said, "You want to talk now? Where was this when you were deep in that witch? When you guys were smiling in my face like nothing happened? When I voiced my concern and you both reassured me there was nothing? When you would talk crap about all the different dudes she would bring home? When you would text her late at night in the living room trying to get some more?" I continued, "Don't act like you're sorry and don't try any guilt tripping because this is all on you." I also told him he was a piece of crap for undermining me and our relationship by telling her that he didn't mind things she did that made me uncomfortable, like wearing only a t-shirt and panties, coming out to talk in just a towel, or having him critique the she would sell to men. Then I hit him with a couple things he didn't know I knew. I said, "Why the F would you lie and say it's cool that we had an agreement where we just had to let the other person know and that you were going to tell me? Also, you said you guys just did some spicy acts. We both know that's a lie." I continued, "Not only did you F her, but you continued to pursue her. And now I know sometimes you would do it while I was in the room."
Ew, that's disgusting. Ew.
Yeah, this man did not deserve notice.
No, he deserves way worse. Oh no, what is it?
Now I know why you'd always comment on men not being able to make her finish after she made that statement. It was because that night she told you that you were the only man and the best man. And to think you kissed me the next day and told me you loved me. What a lying a-hole. Tell me why and make it good, because no matter what you say, I'm done. And shocked he was. He was quiet, almost stunned. And he finally said, "I don't know what to say. I messed up big time." He said he took full responsibility for what he did and that there was no excuse. He said we weren't really talking and that he was searching for something to ease his mind, and she provided that something. I said, "So you're telling me that instead of being the grown man you pretend to be and telling me how you feel, you decided to let your wiener do the talking?" The look on his face was priceless and confirmed that he finally understood the consequences of his actions. I was honest about my feelings of betrayal, disgust, and anger. I made it clear that I wouldn't be contacting him and that he needed to figure out his living situation on his own. I said, "Tina might have a room for you. You should call her."
Boom, there you go.
He said, "I cut her off after she moved out because I thought we could work things out."
This man is so dumb.
I
This man is
laughed and
stupid.
said, "Well, you thought wrong, buddy," and got up to finish packing my things.
Jeez, dude. This man is so stupid.
Stupid man.
So stupid.
One crucial detail I forgot to mention in my original post was that I spoke with my landlord before moving. I explained the situation, including the cheating and the reason for my sudden departure. Because we were so close to the end of the lease and she understood the circumstances, she agreed to release me from further obligations. This was a huge relief and allowed me to leave without the added stress of financial repercussions from the apartment. I did leave a copy of the new agreement with the ex. Now I'm in my new place. I was out walking my dog when the universe decided to throw me a curveball. Shockingly, I ran into Tina at my new apartment building.
Stop it. Is Tina living there now? There's no way.
Turns out she lives there as well.
No!
I guess karma has a twisted sense of humor. I just smiled and started to walk away, but curiosity got the best of me and I turned around and asked her to talk. Boy, did she talk.
Whew.
I started with, now that the situation is over, tell me what really happened. She said she was crying on the couch and that he started to rub her leg and slowly seemed... Okay, she said she was crying on the couch, he started to rub her leg, he tried to maybe initiate some other things. She said she told him he shouldn't because of me, and that's when he told her the lie about us just having to tell each other. She said it happened so fast, but she knows that it was a full spicy sleep act, not just some other things.
Yikes.
She threw me for a loop and pissed me off by saying, and I quote, I used to purposely walk around half-clothed to get his attention and entice him.
Bro, I mean, I guess thanks for being honest, but like, why are you admitting to all of this right now?
She said, especially after you stated that you didn't like when I walked around like that. And then he came to me and said he doesn't mind and that he likes it. I figured if he didn't care, why should I? She said he would set up movie nights for them to cuddle on the couch while I was at work. I saw red, and it took everything in me not to one-two her in the face for the blatant disregard and disrespect.
Yeah.
I gathered my composure and said, if you wanted his wiener so bad, why didn't you do all this before I was in the picture? She said she didn't see him like that until she started to see me changing him.
Oh my God.
By that, she meant I stopped him from dropping everything and running to her aid. I mean, she has so many men to choose from, and I didn't think that he needed to be the one to be running to her side. I said, it wasn't enough for you to have a community to run to. You had to run to what I now know was an already passing away relationship. I asked her when was the last time they spoke, and she said, we talk every day, and he's been over here a few times. She said nothing spicy related happens, and he talks about how he messed up, and how he wishes he could have been different. Sounds like BS to me. I said I didn't care, and that I was done talking, and to act like she didn't know me if she saw me. He tried calling and texting incessantly, because Tina told him that I lived in the same complex, but I blocked his number and muted all his notifications, and I haven't looked back. But by the way, you guys can always look back at full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We have just a little bit left of this story. He also tried to contact my friend who told him in no uncertain terms to leave me the F alone. Tina has also been trying to reach out through mutual friends. I have told them all that I want nothing to do with either of them. I'm done with the drama and the lies. Apparently, he's scrambling to find a new place and is very stressed for his predicament. Honestly, I don't care. He made his choices, and now he has to deal with the consequences. I've been going to therapy, and it's been incredibly helpful in processing my emotions and building my self-esteem. I'm focusing on myself now, and I'm determined to move forward and create a happy, fulfilling life. And that is the end of that story.
Yay for therapy.
Yay.
Yay.
Good job, OP.
Yeah.
You knew you didn't deserve that, and you got the heck out of there.
You sure did.
That's great.
Yeah, that is so insane to like, because, okay, I understand wanting to ask, like, the affair partner pretty much, like,
Yeah.
what happened, but it's crazy that she went into that much detail and about what she did wrong,
Right.
too. It's like, okay, I was kind of wanting just to know, like, just to, make sure I didn't get the wrong idea or anything like that, but you
Right.
just made it so much worse. Like, I don't know, that's just so insane to me. Like, I feel like she would at least try to save herself a little bit instead of being like, yeah, I actually did this because
like, yeah,
I
actually-
hated it.
Right.
It's like,
Like,
what,
Okay, so you're just a terrible person.
yeah, you're like literally asking to be like yelled at right now. Like, is that what you
Insane.
want? That's
Insane.
crazy. It's crazy. I discovered my fiance's secret family after I moved states for him.
Are you guys neighbors now?
I met my fiance when we dated as kids in middle school. We reconnected about 2 years ago after living life separately and meshed so well that we decided to just take the jump. His family lives in Texas. We originally lived in Minnesota, and his mother wasn't doing well, so we moved down here to be close. My fiance bought a 2-bedroom house about a year ago when he first learned of his mother's condition. And by the way, this comes from a throwaway 255375. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So OP says, at first, after we realized we wanted things long term, he would fly back and forth every couple of weeks until I asked him to just stay with me. He had no intention of moving back to Minnesota, and it was kind of a you move here or we do long distance situation. He didn't explicitly tell me that, but that's just what I gathered from our circumstances. After some time thinking, I quit my job and moved to be with him. I've been here officially for 40 days. Last week, while looking for something in the garage, I found a pair of baby-sized Nike shoes. I asked him who they belonged to, and he said he had no idea. I thought nothing of it at the time and just tossed them. 2 days ago, when going through the hamper to do our laundry, I found a small pink bluey t-shirt, probably the size of a 5 or 6-year-old. I immediately remembered the shoes, and my mind started to race. What? That's a crazy way to find this out.
I'm glad we got curious after the second article of clothing,
Right.
but why didn't we look into the shoes more?
Yeah, that's like scary if truly nothing's going on and there's just a random baby shoes in your house, like
Either
that's
you got a kid or this house is haunted.
some kind of crazy ghost. I'll admit I assumed the worst and that he was hiding a kid from me, and I blew up a bit. I accused him of lying to me and started getting emotional. An argument ensued after I didn't believe him when he swore he had no idea where these things came from. He's an only child, so there's no nieces or nephews. The only family he really talks to here is his parents. He offered no explanation other than simply insisting he had no idea. I pretty much shut down after realizing we were getting nowhere and have spoken maybe 10 words to him since. He isn't pushing me to talk either. It feels like I'm just here, existing in the same space. Since yesterday, I've just been filled with despair and regret about moving here, and I'm not even sure if I should be feeling this way. The thought of apologizing for my blow up and trying to rectify things when he might be secretly lying to me about something like this just makes my stomach churn. I don't hope or even want to believe that that's the case. He's never given me any reason to feel like this before, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And there are some comments, but what are your comments so far?
I like that she was like, and I didn't really think he was hiding a kid from me.
Yeah.
No, he's hiding an entire family from you, girl.
Like, yeah, I mean,
That's
it's hard 'cause
exactly what I would think.
we have the title to like give
Yeah.
us that hint, but like,
I would
Yeah.
immediately still be like, why is there a baby shoes and t-shirt?
yeah, and you have no siblings, so there's no possibility
Right.
of nieces or nephews.
And this is too big for you to be like, oh, like it's for us having, like, you're not pregnant.
yeah, you don't know that you're not gonna announce to me that I'm pregnant.
Right.
Like, that's
What a
not-
backwards way.
Yeah. It's not
Surprise,
working.
he's pregnant.
Right. We do have some comments though. Comment number 1. I've randomly found kids' clothes intermixed in my stuff, but it's as simple as I've had nieces and nephews over even years prior and just never thought to do a clean house for crawl spaces or bins very often. It's still weird, but this kind of stuff happens when you sometimes babysit kids. If you don't or never have, it's strange and weirder still to not have any curiosity whatsoever. That's a good point. The fact that he's not like, he's just kind of like, oh, that's weird. It's just like a brand new baby Nikes in my clothes. Like, oh, awkward.
And then
And-
he's like, actually, like, I just really like Bluey. That shirt's for me.
Yeah, that's for me.
And
I
she's
like
like,
to put
it's
it on my
for
leg.
a baby.
She's like, I put it on my leg. I draw a little face on my
I just
knee,
really
and
like
I
Bluey.
make a little puppet out of my leg.
Yeah, like,
Like,
best answer,
Is-
I've taken up puppetry.
right? But the fact that he's not even curious
Right,
about
or
like,
trying to make
Yeah.
an excuse. Like,
it's like, okay, there's definitely something going on.
zero creativity prompts.
Come on. It doesn't have to be a mystery either of you can or even need to solve, but his reaction or lack of surprise at all is a red flag in my opinion. Comment number 2 says, you've now found baby shoes and a shirt for a small child, maybe 5 or 6. They were in his garage and in his laundry. The laundry, especially, is suspect. because that is constantly moving and refilling. Does he think these items just magically appeared? There's maybe one child or two, and my first thought was that there's a baby mama out there who is leaving evidence for you to find. Interesting. You know how some women leave earrings in the bed or underwear behind so the man's wife can find it? That's what I thought of with this. So what is he going to do about this? What are you going to do about it? I don't know if it will work, but you can search birth records online. You might have to pay, though. Sites like Ancestry and MyHeritage have birth records, and you don't have to have all the info like birth dates. That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
That is good to know. We do have an update. Someone suggested I propose getting cameras and gauge his reaction. He was very against it and immediately jumped to the conclusion that I was trying to catch him in something. His reaction took me by surprise.
Well, what would you have to be caught doing?
Exactly. After that, I said screw it and went through his phone. Another popular suggestion. It's something neither of us had done since knowing each other, so I'd watched him put in the code from the corner of my eye and then went through it while he slept. I found a woman that he's been calling and answering calls from while he's working maybe every other day. After my hand stopped shaking, I called from my phone and asked who she was. She asked me who I was, and I told her I'm his fiancé. She told me she's the mother of his kids and that he's a father of 2 boys, a girl, 10, 7, and 5 years old. Oh my
it's
God.
many kids.
That's so much.
Okay, she didn't say his wife though.
Yeah, that's true. Just the mother
So
of
I'm
his
wondering
kids.
if they're in a relationship or if the thing he's lied about is just not having a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I mean,
That's still a massive unforgivable
Oh, I see what you're
lie.
saying.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe they're not like together.
just
He
like a
just has a bunch
co-parenting.
of kids and they're co-parenting thing.
That's a good point. Still weird.
Still like
Frick.
not something you don't disclose to someone that you're engaged to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm kind
okay,
of like- okay.
Wait, yeah, the
more
next
info.
sentence
Okay,
is
great.
the next sentence is they met in college and have been on and off since then, but they're currently just co-parenting. An
Okay.
obvious lie, OP says though. Okay, interesting.
An obvious lie.
Yeah.
Ah.
So maybe there's like other hints of
The
a
lies are
relationship.
deeper.
There's so much to the story. She told me that she'd been told about me and that he said I was pregnant and had pretty much moved here at random against his will. That I was just a crazy one-night stand while they were on a break and he was just trying to co-parent. Basically playing this role of the heroic father to a fake baby, trying to do right, when in reality he's just a psychotic piece of garbage. She seemed more relieved that I wasn't pregnant than anything. But that's her issue. I told her about the shirt. She said her kids had spent the weekend. Another lie, because no one has ever been here since I moved in. She didn't even seem to care that he hid his own children from a woman that he was going to marry. He doesn't know yet, but I'm leaving. I'll be using my little savings to get home and stay at a motel until I'm on my feet again. Thankfully, when I left my job, my boss said I was always welcome back. My flight is in 2 days. I probably shouldn't have, but I also broke his phone and said that I accidentally spilled water on it. No, I accidentally spilled water on it.
Oh no.
I mean, like...
and you accidentally had a secret family.
About an hour after I called her, she texted him, "Call me," and I panicked. I assume she plans to tell him that I know, even though I asked her not to. It hurts, and I've been evaluating everything this far. Every conversation we've had, every little piece that hasn't added up. One thing I will say, although he never begged me to move or anything, we did have numerous conversations about the possibility, and a month before I moved here, he acted so excited and even sent me a bunch of job listings in the area. I definitely did not stalk him or pressure him, but he clearly wants his baby mama if he's concocted this whole psychotic fairy tale to sell to her, so I'm truly and honestly done. I'm just trying to remain calm and sane until I'm up and out of his life for good. This whole time, he hasn't even asked why I'm not talking to him either. Thankfully, I guess, because I wouldn't know what to say. But I know he's a garbage parasite, and that just hurts me even more. And it would hurt me if you guys didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or even your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime, and you can save me from so much pain.
Yeah, guys, don't break Angie's heart.
Guys, please. It's so fragile. Please, guys. And we do have a little bit more to this story. I might just wrap this up. It's like a teeny tiny bit more.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's like I really was just nothing this whole time. I uprooted my whole life literally for nothing more than a single month of playing wife. Now I have to pick up the pieces and repair them all on my own, while his life stays unchanged and he gets to be happy with his family. This has all happened within the last 48 hours.
Oh my
so
God.
I am still collecting myself emotionally. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Wow,
Wow,
dude.
wow, wow.